Treasure Planet? Is it really one of the most underrated Disney films? Well, I was shocked to really think about that. I mean, I guess I never thought about it really. My friends seemed to know what it was. But I was watching a video. I'm going to give credit to this person. Daydream something something. They did a Treasure Planet video and it was called Underrated. And it basically said all the bad things about Treasure Planet. And I took into consideration, and it made me wonder that it bombed. Well, why it bombed, really. Um, the video said that they spent $140 million trying to make the movie. I think it had a lot of promise. I think that's what they thought, and I think the public didn't see it that way at all. And that's what the problem was, because in the theaters it bombed and they lost about $70 million, which I think is crazy because the film to me I thought was really good. It's one of my favorites, but don't know why exactly. Because I was always like a Disney princess girl. I love the Disney princesses. My favorite was Belle, but now looking back on it, I don't know if it was really my personal favorite, or was it because, everyone told me I look like Belle, and, Belle is Beauty and the Beast, and it was my mom's favorite, whatever. So when I was in about fourth grade, or I think it was fifth grade, I don't remember, I rented Treasure Plane. I didn't see it in theaters. Now I regret that. But I don't think I would have gotten it when it came out in 2002. I was in third grade then. But I rented it, and I fell in love with it. And it wasn't until I got to the scene, I'm Still Here, which is where Jim and you see his father leave, and they play a really nice song by the Goo Goo Dolls, and it was just, I don't know, it was the best scene in a movie ever for me, and I don't know, it struck something with me. I can't really remember why, and now, I still love that song, and I'm a fan of the Goo Goo Dolls, so that has something to do with it, I guess, but I don't, I don't know why it struck me, because at that time I was going through something, and now that I look back on that song and I see that a lot of lyrics have a lot to do with what I was going through back then. And I don't think I recognized that at the time. I was a fourth grader, fifth grader, blah, blah, blah. But now looking back, maybe on some subconscious level, I knew I didn't belong. And that's what Disney's good for, is making outcasts end up having their happy ending. So it's really probably the reason why I'm so into Disney so much. Um, but because of that reason, Treasure Planet was the first DVD I ever bought after we used the VCR for however knows, and then it was like, oh god, we gotta get a DVD, everything's converting to DVD, so I begged my mom for a DVD player. My first DVD was Treasure Planet, and I watched it, I was so happy. I'd replay that scene so many times, and it's still one of my favorites. But besides that, Treasure Planet is definitely something emotional. I think if it touched me, it would have touched other people too. I mean, I'm not that odd one out. I mean, there's a pretty big fan base on YouTube. I mean, there's like crossovers, and people seem to love Jim. I mean, he's emotional and he's easy to relate to. I mean, there aren't many relatable male characters in Disney if you think about it, because all the princes are kind of fake and perfect, and I think that's not the best message for kids. So it probably would be a good boy movie, but I think it works with girls too, because Jim, I'm a girl and I relate with him now because, there's a scene where he messes up and it's like, and he cries and he's all like, you know what, don't you get it? I screwed up. And it's just something I think we can all relate to, because Jim's he's like what, 16, 17, 18, 15, whatever he is, but it has a lot of the teenage emotions. Another thing they didn't like about it was that, no love interest, but what I wonder is, do you really need a love interest? I mean, that wasn't what the story was about. I think if we were to throw in a love interest for Jim, it would distract from what the story was really about. And it was a story about growing up, and it was about a fall in some relationship, because it's based on Treasure Island, the book, and so it wasn't about the love interest. It wasn't about that. It was about a father-son relationship, and it was done really well. I mean, it's strange how I identify with it because I'm a boy and I don't have father and son relationship, but somehow I found it really real. And I also, jumping from one subject to another, I love the fact that Silver is not a bad guy, but he's not a good guy either. I mean, there is no real villain in Treasure Planet. There's only themselves, you know. So I think that is an adult thing to do because when you're a kid, you just think of things as black and white. You're like, oh, he's evil, he's good. But to have a character that's in between is a really good idea and really interesting. I think we need more Disney films like that today. So that was a good point. And besides that, I don't think it was a fail. I think people didn't understand it, and I think it wasn't supposed to be forgotten. I think it should still be remembered to this day because I just love it. It's so good. But you know, what are you gonna do? Bye.